Hey guys, so today in writing we're going to focus on using literary terms, which is it's just a fancy way to say we're going to use different words to describe what we're reading and writing about. And a bunch of these terms are words you've already heard of before. So yesterday we used a flow map to organize our thoughts and to really talk about important events that are happening in the story. So today we're going to use how to talk about those events using those really good literary terms or words to talk about our writing. So here are some of those terms that we're going to try to use. Let's talk about them for just a minute. So we have our different points of view, which is just the way that the story is told, which is either first person, second person, or third person. First person, the story is told by a character. So the character says, I went to the store. I bought a new pair of shoes. It's not when it's talking about the dialogue in the story, not where the character's talking, but just in the story it just uses words like I, me, we. The second type is second person. This is when the narrator is telling the story to the reader, meaning the narrator in the book might say things like, imagine you live in this place, or imagine this happened to you. The narrator is actually talking to the reader. This is the least common one that you will see. You don't see it a lot. The one that you see the most common one is third person. And this is when the story is told by a narrator. In other words, the story is told in a way where they say, the author might say, or the narrator might say things like he, she, they. As in, it focuses on telling the story of the character. So Sally went to the store, she bought a new pair of shoes. So it tells us a person's name. It's almost like they're telling that about that person's life. The next thing we're going to talk about is the climax. That is the part of the story where everything changes. If you've ever done a story map before or a story mountain, it's usually at the top of the mountain, meaning that once you get to the top, then you kind of change directions and go down. Well, that's when the story changes direction. So something big happened, and the direction that the story is going in changes. Something intense for the characters. The last part that we're going to talk about is primary characters and secondary characters. Those are going to be really simple. Your primary characters are like the main characters in the story. That's the one who the story is all about. Your secondary characters, they're going to support your main character. They're basically all the other characters in the book, but without them, we wouldn't really have many things to happen. So they are important. We just call them secondary characters. So what we're going to do is we are going to look and think about this as you would think about it with Tiger Rising. So if we look at Tiger Rising and think about the different parts of the story with Tiger Rising, let's start with our characters. That one seems to be the most simple one. So our characters, we remember our main characters are the ones that are the most important, right? So they're the most important characters. They're the ones that the story is all about. So we are going to focus on them. The main character in Tiger Rising, I would actually say that there might be two here. I would say that the main characters are Rob and Sistine, actually. They're both very important characters in our story, and we learn a lot about both of them. Oftentimes, we're going to learn the most about the main character. So our secondary characters in the story are the ones that they might come up in the story and they help our main character and they support them, but they're not who the story is mainly about. So our secondary characters in Tiger Rising would be the ones like Rob's dad. We've been introduced to Willie Mae. We've met the principal. We've met the three mongers, the bullies. Right? So all of those are important characters, but they're not the main characters. So those are what we would consider our secondary characters. So the next thing we're going to do is look at the point of view of the story. And remember, first person, I, me, we. Second person, the narrator is telling us the story. Third person, the narrator is talking about the characters. He did this, she did this. So we need to think about what point of view the story is told from. Well, we want to think about how is the book written? What does the author say? Well, when I look at the very first chapter of Tiger Rising, this is the very first sentence that it says. That morning, after he discovered the tiger, Rob went and stood under the Kentucky Star Motel sign and waited for the school bus just like it was any other day. Right off the bat, I noticed two things in there. I noticed it says after he discovered the tiger, and then Rob went and stood. So it's not saying, in first person it would have said, after I discovered the tiger, I went and stood under the Kentucky Star sign. So I know it's not first person. Second person would be the narrator saying, imagine you discovered the tiger. That's definitely not what they're doing. So then I have third person left. Does that make sense? Well, I said it says after he discovered the tiger. They're using words like he, and then they use the character's name as well. So I'm going to say that the point of view is third person because the author uses words like he and Rob. Okay, very good. The last part we're going to talk about is the climax. The climax, like we said earlier, is like the most important part of the story, or a very important part of the story. It's kind of like the top of the mountain there. It's very intense and important for the characters. So to figure this out, you kind of want to think back to things that have happened. So you can think back to the beginning, and the climax usually isn't in the beginning of the story. It's usually in the middle or towards the end of the story. So the climax so far, even though we haven't read the whole book yet, it would be something we could think about would be, well, let's see. At the beginning, I know his mom dies, and that is a big event that happens to Rob, but it doesn't really make anything else happen in the story. So I'm not going to say that that's the climax. Then we know he finds the tiger. Well, he finds the tiger, and that is a big deal, but so much more is happening after he finds the tiger. So then I want to think, let's see what happens next. He goes to school, he gets bullied. Well, yes, he gets bullied, and that is a big deal to him. But I wouldn't say that it really changes the story. Nothing big happens after he gets bullied, right? So then I keep thinking, he meets Sistine, he becomes friends with Sistine. That is really good for him, but not a whole lot changes. Let's see. Oh, next, he does get up the courage to tell Sistine about the tiger, and he actually shows her the tiger. And that part, it kind of changes the story a little bit for what he's going to do afterwards. I might think that that's the climax. The climax is when Rob shows the tiger to Sistine. So you'll notice I've written in all of my work, I have talked about each different thing. I've talked about my characters, my climax, my point of view. So, and I've done that all based on Tiger Rising. What you guys are going to do today is you're going to listen to the story, A Case of the Bad Stripes, or A Bad Case of Stripes, and you're going to listen to it, and you are going to be able to pull out the characters, the point of view, and the climax for that story. You will find that story on your assignment on Canvas, and you should be able to copy your document to type on, and then you can upload it into Canvas using Google Doc, and you should be good to go. Good luck, guys.